Well, stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to begin the meeting with a moment of silence. This meeting is being recorded and televised by WHCA. I'd like a motion to approve bill and payroll warrants.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like a motion to accept correspondence in the read file.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Public forum. Is there anyone here today who would like to speak on something that's not on the agenda? Approval of meeting minutes, open session September 10th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Is there a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
And the next item on the agenda is the chairman's report. I just have a couple of things I want to mention. I'd like to mention last week's meeting, the September 1st meeting, in which we interviewed all of those candidates who are interested in filling the 2 vacancies on the school committee. It was a remarkable group of candidates, all very well qualified, well-spoken. Difficult decision to make to select 2. I would encourage any of those people, all of those people that are left over, to please keep trying. Please keep wanting to get involved in town government. You would all be a real plus to the town. Yesterday was an interesting day. It was a topping ceremony. I had never even heard the term, actually. I shouldn't admit that, but I hadn't. But we had a topping ceremony down at the site of the new DPW building. And part of the ceremony was to have the ability to sign your name on a beam, a metal beam that's going to be at the top of inside the top of the building. I'd never done anything like that before, and it was. I have my name is there beside Dan's and Justin's and Allison Sullivan's and Michael Brady's and Frank Lynham's and Mary Beth Carter, all these big people, and it was a thrill. And I mentioned it to my sister Peggy today, and she said, "Oh, well, my name is on the beam at the new high school because I was on the school committee then." And I said, "Oh, okay." Thank you very much. That's that. I'd also like to mention that a couple of us, Dan and myself and Justin, went to the Metro South Chamber of Commerce legislative reception last week, and got to exchange ideas with a lot of people, and that's something that we should go to every year, and some of us have been for a while. Mm-hmm. Finally, I'm wearing green today. And I'm wearing green partly in honor of my mother, whose last name was Gilligan, and also in honor of my favorite Irish pub that is no longer here. Just like to remember that McGuigan's pub and the patio were such a great part of this town for such a long time. So I thought I'd hit St. Patrick's Day a little bit early. New business. I'd like to recognize the retirement of Deputy Fire Chief Tom Ford. And Tom, we have a proclamation that we'd like to make. Whereas Thomas G. Ford has retired from the position of Deputy Fire Chief effective September 30th, 2024, having served the town for more than 25 years. And whereas Thomas G. Ford has served the town honorably, faithfully, efficiently, and with dedication, beginning as a firefighter paramedic in 1999, and then assuming the role of lieutenant in 2020 and deputy fire chief in 2024, all the while carrying out his duties in a manner that is a credit not only to himself, but to the town of Whitman as well. And whereas the valued services and untiring devotion of Thomas G. Ford have not gone unnoticed or unappreciated, and he will be sincerely missed by his retirement. And whereas the Board of Selectmen, on behalf of a grateful community, does hereby commend Thomas G. Ford for services rendered to the town. And whereas the Board of Selectmen, on behalf of the citizens of the town of Whitman, extends heartfelt gratitude to Thomas G. Ford and wishes him many years of good health and happiness in his retirement and any future endeavors he wishes to pursue. We hereunto set our hands in town, seal this day, this 8th day of October 2024 in Whitman, Massachusetts, in a proclamation that's signed by all of the selectmen, but one who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. So, Tom, congratulations, and you, as we spoke before the meeting, you'll be able to come to the office at some point and pick up your proclamation. But congratulations, Tom.
Thank you so much.
Chief wants to say anything.
Chief, would you like to say something?
Summarized it pretty well, Chairman, but Tommy was one of the first paramedics that came into the department, truly started the foundation of the EMS system in Whitman Fire, rose up through the ranks as a well-respected member, through lieutenant, retiring as deputy chief. But most importantly, I had an opportunity to sit with Kevin Tocci last night, and we totally took a right-hand turn, and we talked about Tom as the safe officer on ATD last night. Lieutenant, Firefighter Ford, Lieutenant Ford, and Deputy Ford, until he was deputy, was the safe officer. And generation after generation after generation of school children in this town were educated about fire awareness by Tom. And without a doubt, it made a difference. They know Fireman Tom or Lieutenant Tom, and they always say hi to him, and they make mention of it. And we had a great conversation about it last night. And we'll be forever indebted for when he helped me as deputy chief, but I also wish him a long and healthy retirement. Tommy, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I also remember Tom as being one of my better students at Massasoit, and he's a neighbor. This is a real pleasure today, Tom, and congratulations. Next item on the agenda is to vote to accept a donation. And if those people who came for Tom, if you want to leave, you can. You don't have to listen to the rest of this. What? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that.
The next item on the agenda is to vote to accept a donation of $7,500 from the Copeland Family Foundation Incorporated to the animal shelter. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Act on the request of the town clerk to sign the warrant for the November 5th, 2024 presidential state election.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Act on the request of Thomas Pistorino to be appointed to the position of member, Whitman Cultural Council, for a 3-year term through June 30th, 2027, in order to fill an existing vacancy.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chief Hanlon requests to hire an additional officer due to an upcoming retirement.
So moved, yeah.
Second.
Good evening. As you know, we are in the process of hiring for one based on an impending retirement, and I just got notified last week that Detective Eric Campbell is planning on retiring the end of this month, and so while we have the process open and the list called for, it just makes sense to make it 2 instead of 1, so we'll be hiring 2 and going through the process for 2 and send 2 probably to the same academy. As
Would
opposed
someone
to
like to
doing
make
one
a
at a
motion
time.
to allow the chief to look for 2 instead of 1?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second that.
Discussion.
You good?
Looks like it's okay, chief.
Should we vote?
Good, thank you.
Now we need to vote, yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Announce Sharps Needles and Drug Turn-In Day, October 26th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Whitman Police Department parking lot on 20 Essex Street.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it was just an announcement,
That was
but we
an
can vote on the
announcement,
announcement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Whole business, amendment to the Berkeley Botanicals HCA. Peter.
Thank you. So I was before you a few weeks ago with ZBA Chair John Goldrosen, and we discussed with you that Berkeley Botanicals had presented the agreed-upon HCA between the town and Berkeley to the Cannabis Control Commission, and it was rejected, as were many other agreements by the CCC. CCC is essentially not approving custom-tailored agreements, but they will approve a model HCA, which is their model that they've proposed for folks to enter into. I've spoken with Berkeley and with John Goldrosen, and at the board's direction, we propose that they seek additional relief from the ZBA through an amendment to their special permit. And John has come up with some conditions that he would propose for his board to consider. And obviously, they have to vote on those, and Berkeley has to apply to the ZBA for further relief. But in the meantime, Berkeley's eager to get their application back to the CCC because it takes some time for them to approve even the model HCA such that they can open their doors. And so every month of delay here is a month of delay for them to open their doors, essentially. What you've been presented with is a proposed model HCA that is between Whitman and Berkeley. There would be a separate track where they apply to the ZBA, and so you've also been presented with another agreement that they will in fact go before the ZBA and seek that relief. And if they fail to get that relief from the ZBA in the form of an amendment, then the model HCA is void. And that's intended to make sure that some of those conditions that we're moving from the HCA into special permit conditions are in fact adopted by the ZBA, and there's no funny business in terms of adopting one and not the other. So you've been presented with two agreements between the town and Berkeley. One is the model HCA, and one is the agreement requiring them to go get that relief from the ZBA. And I would ask for a vote to approve those agreements and authorize the chair to sign.
Is there a motion to approve both agreements?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there a discussion?
No, I can take care of it. Okay.
All those in favor then?
All right. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. And the next item on the agenda is to approve the special town meeting warrant. You've received a copy of it. You want to say anything about it, Mary Beth?
Sure. So it's, the warrant is for Monday, December 2nd, the special town meeting. The time will be 7 p.m. instead of 7:30. We're trying that out for this upcoming special town meeting. It is basically, the special town meeting was called to vote on the amendment of the regional agreement for the South Shore Regional Vocational School. And that is basically an amendment to the agreement that will allow the calculation to be done for debt based on a 4-year rolling average, as opposed to taking just the prior 3 years estimate and locking that in as the percent that each town would pay for the debt for the 30 years or 40 years, whatever is voted for a new project or a new school. Other than that, we just have a few articles on there for prior fiscal year bills. We have the cable access account article, which we put on every special town meeting and every annual town meeting to pay out the funds that the towns received to WHCA. And other than that, we did put on the districts articles from last May. Those, I'm still waiting. I haven't seen backup on that yet. However, I'm checking with Don Essen from Capital to see if he received it. Hanson did put the articles for the district on their special town meeting, which was last evening. So we have them on here, and this, of course, will still go before the Finance Committee and Capital Committee. So it's a small warrant.
Is there a motion to accept the town meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Town administrators report.
Nope. This evening, I really don't have anything. We have a lot of executives. But
Okay, we'll
Okay.
go right to the executive sessions.
Yes.
We have 4 executive sessions scheduled for tonight. The first, and I'll read all of them because we'll be going right to each one. And then we'll be coming back in open session after they're over. Only to adjourn, though. We're going to do an executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, Exception 3, for the purpose of discussing strategy as it relates to collective bargaining and litigation with the Whitman Police Union, Mass Cop Local 494. As an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the committee as declared by the chair. The second one, executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, Exception 2, to conduct strategy sessions in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, being the deputy fire chief, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. The third, executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, Exception 4, to discuss the deployment of security personnel or devices or strategies with respect to thereto. And lastly, executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A, Exception 1, to discuss the reputation, character, physical condition, or mental health rather than professional competence of an individual, or to discuss the discipline or dismissal of, or complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual. Is there a motion to go into all of these executive sessions?
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
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 Yes, yes, yes. Okay, we are now in executive session. Just a cue. Okay, we're back in open session, and I'd like to announce one of the decisions that we made in executive session. Would you like to make a motion?
I'll make that motion
Tell us what the motion is.
to accept the contract for the deputy fire chief.
Deputy Fire Chief, okay.
Second.
And we voted 3-1.
3-1.
3-1 to accept the contract. So, you have a deputy chief.
Thank you, sir.
You have a deputy chief under contract. Under contract. Okay, so now a motion to adjourn is in order.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're gone.